Greetings. So you think you are successful, is that right? Come on, until you watch my today's guest. Whatever you have misunderstanding about success, you achieved it and you feel so good about it, it's good for you. Or you are like somewhere stuck in the middle and you don't know why you're stuck and you don't even share with anyone else. Because you're just talking to yourself. There's a little inside you. I call it a little Siddique. Then you keep pushing it, pushing it. You can't do this. You will fail. There is something manufacturing fault, not in you as a person, in your process you are following. There is something is missing. You might be thinking, "Oh, I'm a philosopher." I said, "No, you know me already. In case you don't know me, my name is Mohammed Siddique. I'm the host of a growth hacking show and the co-author of New Success Secrets, available on Amazon. My today's guest is not one you call it one of the most successful person on business. He believe in empowering people, building people for success, because he says, as per my guest, success is a process, it's not the destination. And we are going to learn together. By the way, he was never like that before. He is a dropout from high school and kid of mom with 7 kids and lived in a poor, very humble beginning. Of course, he is sharing. Then he went on to do many things. Now he's a multi-PhD. Don't think he's still a dropout. How he has gone through all that? Because he has cracked the code of how to become a success. Right now, he is passionate to actually empower other people to follow that process so that way they become successful. So then they achieved what they ever wanted to achieve in their lives. Please join me to give a warm welcome to my guest, Dr. Jerry Brown from Atlanta. Doctor, welcome.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. I appreciate the introduction. Thank you.
Welcome. Dr. Brown, let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with? Just tell us more about yourself, how you get into all about helping others to become successful.
It's just, Mohammed, it's because of my foundation. My foundation, like you just said, was my background, my struggles, and it was weaving together with my foundation, my struggles, and that became my transformation, right, to give me the desire to help people because of my background. And so, in brief, like you said, high school dropout, mother died on Mother's Day. I dropped out of school, got a job taking brothers and sisters. But then my process was the key, though. My background, I ended up joining the military. When I joined the military, I ended up becoming an undefeated Army boxer. Now, the question you got to ask yourself, I'd say this. I got to ask a question. You asked a good question. So I get my background. What made me want to go to school and try to get a GED at night? What made me do that? It was something inside of me that is a process of success. It was a core value inside of me. Something made me do that. And so I ended up joining the military. And from that, I became an undefeated Army boxer, became one of the top 3% ranks in the entire military. I retired from the military with 2 PhDs, a master's, a bachelor's, associates, and a GED. And so I did not get that before I joined. I got that after I joined. But the key was that was my process. But my progress, like you just said, the secret to success was the progress of learning that success is not a destination. So wherever you are, stuck in the middle, whatever, right? If you understand the process of success, then you understand you never fail. You only learn. And so I've learned to have peace in a personal place. So during the process, if everything goes bad, it's like, great. Now I know what not to do, right? Everything goes good. I said, now I know what to do better. And so that's the process that I never fail. I just learn moving forward. And I appreciate the process. Whenever I learn something like a show like this, I appreciate it. And so if you learn to be grateful and be appreciative for the process, right? Then when you get to the destination, you'll realize it wasn't about the destination. It was about the process. So my process, it leads me to my press. So people see how I work and what I do, how successful I am, and I can outwork everybody, right? So my press is I work like it depends on me. Here's that process. But I trust like it depends on God. See my mindset? I work like it depends on me, but I trust like it depends on God. That's my press. So that gives me the ability to press and to continue to go through the process of success, right, without stress, because I believe I'm already blessed. You see that? So when you believe that where you are now, you're stuck in the middle, things may not work right, you may not have reached your goal or whatever, you got to look at where you are and say, you know something, I may not be where I want to be, but I think that I'm not where I used to be. See that? So when people see me, Muhammad, they think they know where I'm going because they think they know where I started, right? Where I started. But they didn't know that I started with the end in mind. So I started from the beginning, and I'm working my way through the process back to that place. So that's the key. So my press, and that leads to my pressure, the things that pressure me in business. And those things are the things that I call past, present, and future. And so I've learned that I can't change the past. I can only deal with the present, and the future is not promised. You see that? So with that, that gives me my all the pressure, all the things that may happen, may not happen, whatever, right? That I don't do those things based on the desire to just get things done. Is I believe in my heart they're already done because the process is already done. So that gives me a different outlook and perspective. And so that leads me to my philosophy. My philosophy is this. I believe that I'm already blessed. I believe that that God loves me. I believe I'm already successful. Right? I believe my past is not what made me, right? Or my past is not who I was, but my present is who I am. See that? And so when I look at that, my philosophy is that I believe that I'm already blessed, that I'm successful, and that God's got a purpose for my life. That's my philosophy. That leads to my attitude. So now with success, if your attitude in the process, based on your philosophy, is that I feel good about my philosophy. I believe that all things work together for my good. I believe God is able to do exceeding and abundantly in my life above all I can ask or think. I believe this, right? So my attitude is I'm happy about my philosophy. And that leads to my actions. And my actions, and here to answer your question, if you think that your actual, you mentioned it, your destination is the determinant of your success. No, so when you understand the process and then the actions that I take now, because I understand the process, they're not required actions. There are a lot of things required to be successful. Work hard, be diligent, do all these things. But I've learned this, that if I do required actions, it becomes drudgery, it becomes hard. But when you understand the process and got a good philosophy, a good attitude, you do what I call required actions, inspired actions. Inspired actions are when you can't go to bed late enough, you can't get up early enough. In fact, I'm so inspired that I go to sleep just to wake up, to help somebody. I'm inspired. You see, that's a different kind of action. And so my actions lead to my results. And my results lead to my lifestyle. And my lifestyle is helping people during the process of my life. And that leads me now to my purpose. So wherever you are right now, we talk about finding your purpose. Find your purpose, man. Find your purpose. When you got a purpose and you got a philosophy that purpose is built on, with an attitude about that, and take the proper inspired actions that get the right results, your lifestyle is you do what Mr. Muhammad is doing. You do shows to help people. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now I'm so much inspired. I need to get going and ask tons of more questions to you. So based on you have been working with so many people, especially with the army and, here as a pastor in a church and, empowering others. So what are the top 3 missteps to avoid to grow as a person, as a human being, to really have a fulfilling life?
Yeah, one of the 3 missteps is number 1 is not examining your life. Number 1, not examining your life. If you don't examine, the philosopher said that the unexamined life is not even worth living. So you can't measure if you don't see where you are at the point where you are, right? And then the other misstep is not understanding the process of success. Thinking that you reaching a goal is going to be success. Everything is done. I'm at the top of my game. No, when you get there, you realize, right, that's the beginning of your game. See that? And lastly is, again, I want to say not knowing your purpose. Like I said, not knowing your purpose, number 1. But the last one is not being able to discipline your disappointments. Not being able to discipline your disappointments. Because you're going to have disappointments. That's part of the process. It's called disappointments.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So that leads to my follow-up question is, what are your top 3 success secrets you see and who people who are developing into a successful life? What are the top 3 success secrets?
The number one top secret is find your purpose. Number one, find your purpose. Because what happens when you get a purpose, you connect everything in your life called intentional congruence. Everything you do is tied to a purpose, right? And when you got a purpose, boy, you can't be stopped, right? It's like you're a bridge over troubled water. And so when I get my purpose, my next number one tool after that is to learn to discipline your disappointments. Look at life from perspective of not what happens to you. That's not what matters. It's what you do with what happens to you that does. Because what happens to you, what happens to me, what happens in life happens to everybody, right? So it's not what you do, not what happens, it's what you do, what happens. And lastly is understanding. Number one is understand the process. That if I would have thought that me being a high school dropout, right, was determining my success, then now I wouldn't be on your show talking about the process. You see that? With 2 PhDs now. That was part of the process. My mom died. That's part of my process. And it's got me where I am today to be invited on such an awesome show. See that? So success is learn the process. Learn that.
Thank you. Thank you. So I know you use a lot of word learning from the mistakes and failures. So as you know, life is like a roller coaster. Sometimes it's going up and sometimes it's going down, and that's like this. So Dr. Brown, what keeps you going when you're in a feel like a down moment in your life? That's very natural. What keeps you going?
Yeah, what keeps me going is I don't have a down moment. Right? No, what keeps me going? I have situations. I've got life like everybody else. I spent 12 months in combat. Right? Can you imagine that? Right, away from your family. Right, and doing that, they said the same thing. They said, "How can you be so at peace? How can you be so encouraging?" And I encourage people in a combat situation. That's one of the things I did. I even did physical fitness in combat. So nevertheless, what keeps me going is that my why. I'll say my why. Why I do what I do, connected to my purpose. See that? So when you got a big enough why, you realize it's not about you. It's about the purpose that God called you for. So even when things are not going the way I want them to go, I'm learning, right, that when the roller coaster goes down in life, right, what you do is, right, because you understand the process, you know it's going to go back up one time. So when it's going down, just yell, ah! Right? But hold on tight. Don't jump out of the roller coaster because it's going to go back up. So I've learned the process that, Muhammad, I joined business-wise. I had 2 companies that I built as a part I helped build, and those companies actually shut down, right? Millions of dollars gone, right? But each time, one was a network marketing company. Each time the company shut down was Excel. I excelled them to my fortune. And then what I did was I disciplined my disappointment. I yelled, ah! But I kept on purpose. See that? So my purpose drove me past the company. You see that? Because I'm still helping people. So that's my secret is, right? Regardless of what happened, discipline your disappointments and use those things as stepping stones, not as stumbling blocks. Anybody, because you're gonna have situations. It's gonna come. So
wonderful, wonderful. How the Growth Hacking Show community can support you, the people who are watching this, how they can help you?
Well, you can help me. Again, my purpose is helping people. I have an organization out. I don't know if I can give a website, but it's an organization out of. It's not my organization. I met a young pastor that's helping abused children, battered women, rehab, veterans, and so I'm dedicated in 2018 to help this group to raise funding to continue to do what they do because they want to help. They're helping people for real. And it's an amazing group out of Alcolu. Funny word. ALCOLU, Alcolu, South Carolina. And it's alcolu.org, alcolu.org, ALCOLU.org. And you'll see the site, what they're doing. And so that gives me an opportunity to really be a philanthropist at the end of the year, to donate, to help. And not just with my words and the funding, but to connect with what you're doing. So if you could help that group out, that would be a blessing to me and to so many others.
Wonderful, wonderful. Dr. Brown, so as we are about to wrap up, what would you say as a final word?
My final words is this, is that success is not a destination. Success is a process. Learn. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is not promised. All you have is right now. See that? So find peace in a personal place where you are right now, regardless of the situation, right? It gets better. The roller coaster goes back up. God bless you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Jerry Brown, for sharing your wisdom with us today. On the behalf of Growth Hacking Show community and our entire team, we really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia, wishing you good luck, good sales, and I do hope our path cross again with another amazing guest. Until then, all best wishes.
I want to get a mustache like yours too. I like